Artemas is taking the music industry by storm. Powered by his smash hit, I Like the Way You Kiss Me, he's already racked up almost 50 million monthly listeners on Spotify, along with over 500 million streams. In this video, I'll be breaking down some of the production on his biggest hits to date, mainly stuff like Cross My Heart, I Like the Way You Kiss Me, and If You Think I'm Pretty. So his songs are about 130 to 150 in tempo, so today we've just gone for 142. The main elements in Artemas' music that make it so damn addicting are firstly, the vocals and lyrics. Now I know this is a music production tutorial, but Artemas' vocals and vocal production are crazy. I'll be adding some vocals of my own to this beat, so stick around for some tips on how to polish up your vocals if maybe like me, you're not a natural born singer. Secondly, Artemas loves to use melancholy, sad chords. His music's really about exploring the darker side of people's personalities and his own personality, so having those emotive chords underneath forms like the perfect bedrock to make that sort of track on. Thirdly, punchy drums. Artemas combines his introspective lyrics and feelings with high energy, punchy drums. This gives a really nice contrast and helps keep your head nodding along to the track. Lastly, the production ear candy. In a lot of his songs, Artemas keeps the main elements fairly simple, but he adds loads of depth using effects, different synth layers, risers. Artemas' beats often seem pretty simple, but they're able to so vividly capture the emotions that the songs are about. So to start off, I went over to the piano and played in these kind of sad, melancholy chords. We're just walking up from F minor 7 to G minor 7 to A flat major 7. Then I added that simple little melodic run on the way down to add a bit of spice. Once I had this in, I decided to add a lower octave piano just to add, some variation between the sections. Next up, I started on the drums. I really like the Jersey club kind of vibe he goes for on Cross My Heart, so I wanted to try something like that. So I laid in this MIDI for the kick and I added some stomps in for extra impact. After I got this groove in, I wanted to add some bass. Across his biggest hits like If You Think I'm Pretty and I Like the Way You Kiss Me, Artemas always keeps his bass patterns pretty simple. I mirrored the Jersey Club kick pattern that I just put in and put that down to a sub bass and it sounded like this. Then I added in a profit patch that I made to give the bass some more mids and high frequencies. This is key if you want your bass to translate on small speakers. Some distortion added here also helps. Filling out the drums was my next priority. I added a snare, a clap, and another clap with some long reverb on it to give a bit of depth to the mix. After this, a couple of simple trap-inspired hi-hats and another clap that I was using as a perk rounded out the groove nicely. My drums were pretty much done at this point, but I wanted to add some texture, and with all the drums, that sounds like this. I had the basic elements complete at this point and was loving how everything sounded, but it was a bit too static, there wasn't enough excitement going on. I created a synth pad on my Prophet, and then I added the Shaperbox preset, giving it a really cool rhythm. Then I added another synth player using Vital. This rounded out the choruses pretty nicely, but the verses still needed a couple of extra parts. I used the same modulation trick that I used to make the drum texture on a synth and got this. And then I created a lo-fi keys layer, combining a few patches from a Rhodes, a Juno, and an SEM synth that I got out of Analog Lab to create this. With the right effects, these slotted right into the mix, and all that was left over to do was the vocals. So I wrote some lyrics using darker, introspective, Artemas kind of themes, and then I recorded those in. Like I said earlier, I'm not a natural singer, so here are a few tips I used to polish up my vocals and get them sounding a bit more professional. Firstly, I sang pretty quietly and focused on getting a really airy, breathy sound to my voice, which sounded way better than when I was trying to sort of belt it out. Secondly, I recorded each part a few times. or sometimes more than a few times, and comped them into one larger vocal take. Next up, I added compression, EQ, all the usual suspects, along with a little bit of saturation to get a bit more grit and drive, because like I said, I was singing a bit more quietly. Lastly, I added plenty of vocal ambience and background effects using some of my favorite plugins. I'm thinking of making a proper in-depth tutorial about vocal production and processing, so if that's something you'd like to see, drop a comment down below. Once you put everything together, this is what you get.
Recently I've been preaching honesty. Call it lust, fuck me good and don't stop me when I try to leave. We both know we got our needs. Recently I've been preaching honesty. Call it lust, fuck me good and don't stop me when I try to leave. We both know we got our needs. Pour yourself a drink, we both know the drill. Whiskey on ice and a couple pills. Self-destructive tendencies. Angel of death, heaven sent for me. I hit her from the back cause I know you like it rough. All we do is fuck you, all we do is hit it from the back cause I know you like it rough. Tell me I'm enough, darling. Recently I've been preaching honesty. Call it lust, fuck me good and don't stop me when I try to leave. We both know we got